I'm Bill Reisnider, a good friend of Randy. He's the one that introduced me to this. Randy's actually related to my wife. So yeah, it's been fun. Good experience. And it's really, really neat to see Randy and Brad interact and cheer each other on. And I mean, I think the whole gang actually cheers everybody on, but there's a real good bond there, wouldn't you say, between Randy and Brad?
Want to talk about grandkids?
I don't think they'd be interested. Nebby? I don't know. It'll be fun to see them when we get home.
Randy, Bill, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing fantastic. I'm here again to give you a little break for your talking. I think you can talk about your grandkids. I'd love to hear about your grandkids because I'm just interested in the people who are supporting the ride. But maybe after my interview with Matthew, you guys could pick back up on that conversation. All right. Well, I'm going to mute you guys up, and we're going to bring on our last interview of the day. This is someone who is very familiar with the back end of RAAM. This is RAAM's technology and operations. The title I got was support, but I'm going to put Grand Architect. Please join me in welcoming Matthew Fisher to the stream. Matthew!
Hey, Christian. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
No pressure with that title. I think support probably fit a little bit better, but you know.
No, Grand Architect. You gotta own it. You gotta own it, Matthew. So for those of you guys who are watching, Matthew is the one who I also interact with the most. He is the reason you are watching what you're watching. He is the brainchild behind all the hardware and software that goes behind the stream, but he does far more than that. So Matthew, for those who might not know you, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you first became involved with ZOE as well as the Race Across America?
Sure. Yeah. So basically I was part of a group of guys. I think I was watching Alan earlier. He mentioned the group of guys that he was cycling with. So one of those guys was my uncle, and when I was a teenager, he invited me on a couple of those rides. So I got to hang out. I got to hang out with those guys as they were cycling in my late teens. And then in 2018, when we were doing, we did a lot of like local rides. So when we were doing one of our trips, at that point it was from like New York into Pennsylvania. A lot of those guys were doing the Road to Justice.
Oh yeah.
Ride. Yeah. And so they had invited Brad along. And so that kind of got the conversation started about doing a race across America. And once it got started, the next year, 2019 was our first year. And that year I served on the crew. So I went along out, served on the crew on the way back. And from then on, kind of found my niche in each one.
Yeah. For could you let kind of people watching know a little bit about what that role maybe looked like in 2019, and then also kind of how your role has evolved? Like what is it exactly that you do? How do you support the team? Kind of what are all the facets that you juggle?
Yeah. So in 2019, well, in every year up to this year, 2026, we would have been doing 8-man teams. And so I was serving in 2019 and 21. I went along. So I was along on the crew, and I was essentially doing what the rest van is doing right now, where they're just swapping riders. So we would with an 8-man team. We thought they would be switching a lot less as a 2-man. I don't, from what I've been seeing, they're not switching a whole lot less. But but with an 8-man team, it's especially important that you're switching every 15 minutes or so. And so getting out, getting the bike ready for the next guy, being able to kind of show them what's coming up, any turns that are coming up. And 2019 was actually the first year we drove out So we drove a truck out to California, and I never forget, Brad and I were talking as I was on the way out there, like how we're going to navigate on the way back, because RAM does have it all mapped out. Like every turn, it's in a printed format. And so doing that with 8 cyclists and as fast as we wanted to move with as much commotion as there is tough. And so we wanted a way to put that in electronic format. So when we actually got out to California in 2019, we had a little bit more spare time that year. We got out fairly early. And so we actually, we set up in the hotel room and we went through each time station turn by turn and entered every turn into it.
Wow.
And so since then, we've actually been using those same routes. I mean, RAM makes small adjustments some years it's mostly the same, but we've been able to reuse a lot of that work that we initially did in 2019. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I think it's so great to remember, and for people who are watching to like go, oh my gosh, yeah, there's like, you have to have the guy in the chair, right? There's so much, there's a whole navigation aspect of this, and you get to be that person who's giving them updates. Or I know, like we were just talking earlier, I think it was Randy who was like, yeah, I was checking, Matthew said tonight the wind's gonna move in our directions. Like you're checking like the weather out. It's like there's so much that is happening also, not even on the track. Like there's support happening from all over the country for this.
But it does, I mean, it takes everyone, because and I'm grateful to ZOE and to Brad for like giving me a spot to serve. I mean, in 2023, that would have been the first year I had some personal changes, and it really didn't work for me to go along like in person that year. And that was the first year where it was actually like, okay, it's kind of nice having a stable internet connection and being able to do a lot of this stuff from back here.
Go sleep in a bed. Yeah. Well, Matthew, what would you say, people watching, like what is something that they would be surprised to learn about, just either like the amount of planning or coordination, or like the type of technology that's required to make this possible as smoothly as ZOE's done it?
Yeah. I think one of the tough things that people don't, it's hard to recognize until you actually get put into that position, just how fast it's moving. I mean, with a 2-man team, which what we're watching this year, it is slower. It's definitely slower. So there's a little bit of buffer there. But especially with the 8-man teams, the speed at which you're going across the country to make it in I think in 25 we were like 6 days and 6 hours.
Yeah.
To be able to get the logistics set up to have the stuff at the right spot each time it's really difficult. And that's where, I mean, I've worked with Alan twice as the crew chief. I've worked with Alex now. It's hard to make those calls. I mean, I know they're making the best decision they know how, but if you think about it, like when you're, especially with the 8-man team, I mean, out west, you're oftentimes averaging 20 to 25 miles an hour. And so in a 12-hour shift, I mean, you're going at least 240 miles, if not more.
Wow.
And some areas, the van is not going that fast, and the RV, like they either have to go out around to get to an interstate, or they're on like pretty rough roads at times when you think of like driving an RV. Wow. And so being able to make those calculations as far as like when we typically we would run on 12-hour transitions. So when that crew sets off, that's the time that you need to make a call of, okay, where are they going to be at 12 hours from now?
Sure.
And usually that doesn't end in a Walmart parking lot. Usually
it's not nice and tidy. Yeah.
Usually you either are like, okay, there's one an hour farther ahead, or there's one an hour farther back. And if you're lucky, those options are Walmarts. And so there's a lot of times you're just kind of trying, like you spoke about the wind earlier, you're trying to make an informed decision on like, okay, are we going to pull it a little short, or are we going to kind of bet on that they're going to make it there?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, every mile that crew and riders have to travel when they come back out to meet for that next transition is time that they could be sleeping.
Sure.
And so that's
It's
a
a huge
lot.
factor. Yeah.
For the crew chief to be able to make those calls, to be able to know where to go, and to hope. I mean, yeah, you want everyone sleeping as much as you can, but then the obvious thing too is you need to be able to feed everyone and take care of everyone as well. So it's not like you can just kind of put the RV wherever you want, to make sure everyone, the train keeps moving.
Yeah, the logistics of this is not insignificant for what it takes to make sure everything.
And a lot of those as well. I mean, those do pare down somewhat with the 2-man team because of, I mean, Randy and Brad are taking it on the chin, just sleeping in the van every time. So that gives a lot of flexibility as far as like being able to move the RV around without affecting them as much.
Yeah, we just heard that. I think Randy was saying right before we hopped on that Randy, the rider, just got like 50 minutes of sleep because Brad did like a good pull and just gave him that time to rest. And it's like now he's back out there and he's riding. And it's like 50 minutes. Like that's, I mean, they have just got they just taken naps basically for the last 5 days, and there they are. They're still out there going. So yeah, everything that can happen behind the scenes to make sure that they can get as much sleep as possible. Every minute matters to them. I'm sure every extra minute of sleep they can get means a lot.
And they're getting into the spot now where it's easier, because once you start getting closer to the East Coast, even, I mean, once you pass really Wichita, at that point it becomes a lot easier to find spots.
Good. Well, yeah, hopefully the last half is a lot easier than the first half.
Yeah.
So Matthew, you've been on this for many years now. Is there like one like challenge or a moment that really jumps out at you that was like, oh man, we have to, split decision, make this call, or it was just, this kind of this maybe an issue popped up or a problem and you were like, okay, like let's make this change. Is there one that really just is like, oh, I'll never forget when this happened?
A lot of it does blend together when you do, but there are definitely a couple moments I don't forget. Like there was one, I think it was in 2023 that we made the call in the desert, to put the van at a spot, and all of a sudden the crew that was out there got a massive tailwind, and they started to make up ground, and we were like, they're coming in, they're going to be in like 2 hours early. Wow. And there's really nowhere to move the bus. I mean, the next spot up has nothing. And at least the spot that we're at right now, we have like a hotel that they can get some showers and some stuff. And so like having to like work with the crew chief and basically say, look, guys, we need you to take one for the team here, like, and get out there. And to know that some of those, I mean, obviously you can always second guess those decisions, but those definitely do stick out. And then on the more serious note, I mean, when the rider went down in 23 as well, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not there, but when you see those messages coming through, sure. It's tough. And then working with the rest of the team, and I mean, the team stepped up. Like at that point, obviously you're the Alan and Brad at that point had diverted and went to be with the rider, and the rest of the team picked it up, and they're working. But I called Alan the next morning, and I think it was like a 19-hour drive to catch up with where the team was going to be at that evening.
Wow.
So it's so much, yeah, that obviously there's the rider was okay. So that made everything a lot. I mean, that's the most important part, but the logistics of just keeping everyone on track are a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. It sounds like it. Matthew, you balance your regular job, right? Like, because you get to be local, like you are still working. You have your regular job responsibilities and life responsibilities while also supporting this race. What motivates you to invest so much of your time and your energy behind the scenes for this?
I mean, I think I don't know that it's obviously my family takes it on the chin. Like there's a lot there. Like and so I'm very grateful there and I'm blessed there. And then even with work, I work actually for my uncle, and so they're very generous because my productivity definitely takes a hit.
Sure, sure.
So I'm not sure if it's as much me balancing things as it is the people
Supportive
around
brothers
me.
around there, yeah. Hey, seems like that's a theme for RAM. So that's awesome.
So I definitely appreciate everything that my colleagues do at work, and then obviously my wife and my family at home. There's a lot going on when RAM is going on, and to like there's a lot before too. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. There's a lot as far as like setting up the vehicles for the cyclists. I mean, they're training for months to do these events. I mean, if not years. And so like it's a lot of time that gets put into leading up to the week that they're out on the road.
Yeah. I wish we had pictures of like when I went out to Oceanside last year and saw the kit that you had put together for one of the vans. Like it's just I mean, man, you guys are watching. It's this like incredible. You step in, you feel like it's like Tony Stark did something to this van. Like there's wires going everywhere and cameras set up, and there's a Starlink attached to the top, and then I know we talked Matthew this year, and now you've doubled that, right? So now both vans have this setup going, and it seems to be working beautifully. Like how describe that feeling of like going from last year's stream to this year's stream, like the things that you're like really just happy with, and then also like maybe a goal for like the next time you do this? Like, is there something else that you kind of want to build out more?
No, it's awesome to see it all come together. But I think the reality is like it's really cool to do all kinds of complicated things and make all this stuff wired together. But at the end of the day, if you're a crew member out there and it's complicated to use, it might as well not exist.
Right, get it out of here.
And so I know like that's the part that I try to be very sympathetic about, because all of this stuff is great. Like technology is great. You can always throw more at it, but at the end of the day, it has to work and it has to come through. And so to be able to see the rest van and the follow van communicating in real time is amazing. That is like that is one of the coolest things, because that is I mean, the majority, especially in the West, does not have great self-service. And so when they're doing these transitions, it's hard to know where they're at until they're just on top of you. And so like when it's raining, you don't want to have that rider standing out in the rain longer than they have to be.
Sure.
And so being able to communicate with the follow van about what mile marker are they at as they come up through and get that rider out, like as they're pulling up, is really cool to see.
Yeah, and also what a great thing that you've made. That's not just like it fulfills two purposes, right? To see something fulfilled is like, wow, we get to show more to people at home, and we get this, people who can watch, and whenever they want, they can tag in and see where these riders are at and listen in. But also, it also is like helpful tool for the people using it, right? So like the crew out there is like, wow, this is a boon for us, and that's got to be, that's like the best thing to make, right? It checks all those boxes. So I just want to just say thank you, Matthew. And I know I was even hearing we had DJ on yesterday for the interview, and he was just like, man, if we could have talked to the other crew like these guys are talking to each other, like this would have been amazing. So I know that they're getting that just the benefit of having that with them. So way to go.
I always say there's definitely some selfish motivation behind it, because when I can't be along with it, I want to be able to keep tabs.
Yeah, totally. It works for all angles. It's all angles. Well, Matthew, before we kind of wrap up here, as people who are watching the race, they're following, how can they be praying for you, the work that you're doing, and then what would you say, just prayers for the crew and the people working behind the scenes to support this mission?
Yeah, I mean, a reoccurring theme over the last day is just Kansas. I mean, I know it's one of those things where I'm sure it's a nice place to live in, but when you're riding through it, for as long as they are, it is tough. And Alan worded it great. I mean, if you imagine doing anything for 8 days continuously, at a certain point, you're going to get bored and it gets monotonous.
Sure.
And so it just messes with you when you're out there for that long and just doing the same thing over and over and over. So I think that's where, I mean, from like I know the crew, they have, it's hard driving a van behind a cyclist, just staring at that blinking red light for 12 hours at a time. And so for everyone involved, just to pray that they continue to be alert and can just continue to focus and make sure that, it doesn't just, you don't just kind of glaze over, because it's hard. It's really tough, especially when it's dark, it's 2 or 3 in the morning. And like this morning it was raining on top of that. It's difficult.
Yeah, definitely great things to be praying for. Well, Matthew, normally I would say to all of our guests, is there anything you want to share to the crew or the riders? But you're talking to them all day long.
It's funny. Just before I jumped on here, I got a message from Alex, so I'm going to be calling him right after we're done here. So.
There you go. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Matthew, thank you so much for just the work that you've done, the sacrifices that you've made, and just giving your gifts and your expertise to make all of this smoother and possible. And even the fact that we're even talking to each other and watching these riders now is because of you. So thank you so much.
I appreciate everything you're doing, because I know there's a lot that goes on your end with everything too. So
thanks,
all the work you're putting into it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Well, Matthew, we will see you at the finish line and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Christian. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Well, that is the end of our interviews for today. We will be back tomorrow around the same time for more interviews. But in the meantime, if you guys haven't already, scan that QR code, support the riders. Over $188,000 raised so far. Their goal is $250. So share the word, what these people are doing, what the men and women, what the riders, the crew, all that are putting their heart and even their bodies on the line to raise awareness to end child trafficking. It matters. You have a part to play in it. If there's one thing we've heard today from all of our guests, it's just that there's this theme of it takes a village, and you're a part of that village. So now that you know, now that you see, share the word. Let's raise support for this amazing mission. And Randy and Bill, I will turn it back to you guys as you enjoy and finish out Kansas.
Oh, look at that. There you have wind turbines.
Yeah. Bottom over there.
Yeah. And different country now. There's more and more for it.
It's almost like we're in a different world from yesterday.
We are.
We went from everything brown to everything green.
This next uphill, let's go beside him. We've got a feel for distance he wants to travel yet. Back to them.
We can do that.
So Christian is off and done. So Phil and I usually are in the other van, which is the rest van, and doing the bikes on and off. And that thing, part of what we do there is with we have a couple of things we're looking at. Bill's driving, and I'm doing if you can see.